Hello America, Scudder here, and today I'd like to talk to you guys about the BP oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. Now before I get started, I'd like to ask you guys to consider passing this video along to everyone you know. Normally I don't request that with my videos, but this one is a little more important. I'd like for you guys to pass it on to your friends and to your family in your internet forums and groups and help get the word around, because it's time that the American people show these irresponsible big companies that we mean business. Now you guys know that the situation in the Gulf of Mexico is pretty dire. The oil spill is pumping thousands of gallons of oil into the ocean a day. And there are businesses all along the entire coast that are being affected by this, not to mention the substantial loss of life to wildlife already, and we've just gotten started. It is inconceivable to me the way that BP has dragged their feet in dealing with this situation. And I'm going to share with you guys some information as well that I learned last night, and it angered me, and I think that it should anger you. Now it's said that a scientist's estimate is saying that somewhere between 56,000 to 84,000 barrels of crude oil are leaking out of the main leak a day. It's also estimated that there is a secondary leak that they have now found that is pumping about 25,000 gallons a day. Now, I'm going to show you guys something just to help you put that into perspective. Watch this. This right here, that is 1 barrel of oil. Now, if you think 25,000 barrels a day, if you think 56 or 84,000 barrels a day, that gives you an idea of how many barrels a day are being released by this oil spill. Last night, Lamar McKay, who is the chairman and president of BP America, was on C-SPAN, and they had a hearing. And let me give you some information that I found out. One of the representatives asked him about the fishermen that BP has hired to help clean up the spill. She said that they interviewed the fishermen, and the fishermen said that BP did train them on how to clean the spill, but they offered no protective uniforms, nothing for them to wear. And BP told them, if they come into contact with the oil, don't worry about it, it won't hurt them. Now, Lamar McKay said that BP roughly made $16 billion in 2009. He was asked how much his salary was, and he replied that it was somewhere around $650,000. Then he was asked if he received a bonus. He said he did, in the amount of $1.1 million. So a chairman that is making a little bit over $1.5 million a year, and a company that is making $16 billion a year, can't even afford to buy the workers that they've hired protective gear to clean up their mess. Think about that. I also found out that the families of the 11 men that died on the rig, they are stating that BP, no one from BP, has even had the courtesy to make contact with them to offer their condolences, to say we're sorry, is there anything that we can do to help you? Nothing. No response. The only response they said that they saw was that there was a memorial service, and they said that there were a couple of people from BP that came to the memorial service. They sat in the back, and as soon as the memorial service was over, they promptly ran out the back door and left without a word. Now, that's pretty crappy in my mind. Last night on C-SPAN, when they were talking to Lamar McKay, one of the representatives told him that they have seen many people offer various suggestions on how to clean the oil spills. Some of them, you guys have probably seen them with the hay, with the hair, things like that. And these demonstrations have been proven. They showed them physically how these products will work to help clean up the spill. Lamar McKay said that he believes that BP's methods are more effective. They're not even considering other alternative methods to clean up the spill. One more thing I want to tell you guys about. Representative Edward Markey from Massachusetts asked Lamar McKay if BP had a financial advantage of understating the rate of flow that was coming out of the spill. And for those of you who don't understand that, he was saying, do you guys at BP as a company, can you think of any advantage you might have for underestimating the amount of barrels per day that are pouring out of the spill? Lamar McKay's response was simply, I don't know. The reason that is important is because by U.S. law, a company can only be liable for a certain amount of money depending on the rate of flow. So let's say you've got 5 million barrels that's estimated. Then that company would only be liable for $5 million. 10 million barrels, $10 million. And that's just a guesstimate for you guys. That's just an example. So someone thinking of this logically would say, yes, BP would definitely have an advantage to underrating the rate of flow that was coming out, because for them, their liability would be much lower. Now, I don't typically believe in boycotts. Generally, they don't work, I think. And I think that most of the time, even though people's thoughts and people's sentiments are in the right direction, generally a boycott just really doesn't work. And when you're going up against a huge company, I think BP is probably the 4th largest company in the world. You're thinking that, you can't make an impact. But I say that the best way to deal with a company who has shown such gross negligence in every area is to hurt them where it will hurt them the most, and that's in their pocketbook. So I'm asking you guys to consider not buying your gas at any BP gas stations, completely quit using BP as a company until they get the message that something has got to be done and that we will no longer take this kind of abuse from big companies anymore. So you guys think about that. If you have comments for me, please leave them in the comment section below. Just remember, I don't allow cussing in my comments. Those will be removed. But if you have comments that you would like to say, go ahead, put them down there. Tell me how you feel about a boycott. Would you support it? And would you pass this on to other folks? You guys take care. God bless. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.